Hi, this is Self Discovery Support. Welcome back. Welcome. So, this is going to be another open general message, and I'm going to get into it. I would advise that you check the initial oracle card pull, and I'm going to go through the initial energy before I get into tarot, and you can see if this is a reading that resonates for you. Also, the reading has a title, so of course that is something that you maybe were drawn to. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start telling you guys. If you're drawn to it, it's got something for you. All right, so I'm using the Neoteric Feminine Tarot and the Getting into the Vortex deck of cards, and we have some affirmation cards from Reeve, I believe the company is called. All right, so let's see what's happening here. Straight out, we have I will not try to control the uncontrollable. Okay, that's something. That is definitely something. All right, and okay, this one says, am I following my dreams or am I procrastinating? All right, so it feels like you're called to something here. Yeah, it definitely feels like you're being called to something. Let's get your tarot as well. All right. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands, the Ace of Cups, Three of Swords, Ace of Swords, Seven of Wands. All right, so the energy that I'm seeing here, I've looked at the cards and it really feels like I'm going to call this reading something like resistance. Like when resistance enters into love, I think, or pursuit of love or something like that, because it feels like there's someone here. This could be you. If you've clicked on this reading, it feels like you are someone that you do believe in connections and romance, and you have tried very hard in connections. It kind of reminds me of that movie, He's Just Not That Into You. And I can't remember the name of one of the main characters, but at the end where she says to the guy, she goes to this house party and she says to him, at least I tried. I keep trying and I keep getting my heart broken or something, but at least I try. And then she, walks away. It kind of reminds me of that, where I always think about that line in that movie and think that amount of trying is actually her resisting having it happen. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a certain amount of flow or a certain amount of relaxation that you need to have in order to have a connection happen or enter your life, something significant that you want. So it's like with these two cards here, so it's asking like, are you controlling this or trying to make something happen that is actually an organic process? And by doing that, are you actually making the thing happen, or is it a kind of subconscious way of resisting or pushing back what you want to have happen? So like sometimes you think, yes, I want to welcome a relationship, or I want to welcome love or a new connection into my life, but by doing all of this work, it could be actually pushing things away. There's something maybe about attachment style as well. You could resonate, like if you are an attachment that's more like anxiously attached, you could resonate with that. Attachment styles are, the way that we learned how to connect and to relate to other people. I would look it up. It's worth a look up. It's worth a revision. It feels like, okay, with this, let's break it down. With the Nine of Wands and the Ace of Cups, if for some of you who are watching, if you're still watching, this could be a little bit of a difficult video to watch, especially if this is like new information to you. But it's what is here, and I'm committed to tell the message. If you don't connect to this, then it's definitely not your reading. But this is someone who is tried and tried and tried again, and just kind of maybe exhausted from trying to have this kind of emotional fulfillment, when actually what might be needed is a little bit more self-focus, a little bit more self-love and self-care. And what I'm seeing is that with this, it feels like you've realized this actually, because we have the Ace of Swords here and the Three of Swords. So it feels like you are feeling the effects of, I don't know if you're trying this with one person or, different connections after the other, trying to make it work because you're, you do want connection. That is a very good thing. But I wonder if, so there's like the Three of Swords. So it's like processing the heartbreak and the effects it's had on you. And it's like, I feel like you're coming into some kind of truth about this, like knowing that, okay, this is what I've been doing. I've been trying at this way of going about forming connections, this way of finding what I think I need. But maybe the thing you need is actually more of your own time. You know what I mean? Like, and then this card makes me think, like, do you spend more time focusing on the other person in connections rather than your own dreams, your own life? Yeah. I think that's what I want to say. And with these like butterflies here, it just makes me think of like a lot of like anxiety and overthinking about this thing that you want to have happen, but then it actually doesn't happen. And then also for others of you, you might actually be spending more time thinking about having the connection you want than actually opening actively, like in the real world, to it. So that doesn't mean getting out there and like pushing for it, but it means probably being active in the real world, forming new friends, doing activities, developing yourself. And then that's when this, this thing that you want comes in. Seven of Wands and the Five of Cups. It feels like you've gotten to a point, maybe you relate to this, where you do have a lot of love here to give, a lot of sensitivity to other people, and probably a very empathetic person as well. But it feels like I feel like underneath all of this, you are actually somebody that is very able to make a connection work. Isn't that interesting? But it's just like the forming the initial connection, or that initial process it seems difficult, and it feels like now you might be, because of all of this, it feels like you might be defensive. And if for some of you, if this is not a kind of repetitive behavior, it might be with one person. So it feels like you might be like have some walls up or barriers up. I think you're thinking about the past and maybe the things you would have done differently. I feel like this experience has maybe closed things down a little bit for you. Knight of Cups. Yeah, I think that you have to get through this stage before you're able to open up again to new. I see you have the ability, like you do want that, as we've established, but and there's something else for some of you. Maybe you have a lot of boundaries up, so there's a kind of balance needed. Let's see some advice for you. Okay, we've got King of Swords and Nine of Cups. All right, so you have to, we're talking about if you have an attachment style that's a little bit more anxious. I think the King of Swords to me is kind of the opposite of that. This is somebody who holds back a little bit, who's a little bit more kind of withheld, which that might not naturally be your way of going about it. But I think there's also a thing about being clear about what it is that you desire. Do you actually desire, or what type of connection do you want? And do you actually desire a connection right now? Or could you be using that time for other things that make you happy as well? Yeah. All right, I think that's what I see here, guys. This is your reading. It's more of a kind of, I guess, question posed to you. And so if you enjoyed this, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you here on another reading. Take care.